Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim pointed the finger at Alejandro Garnacho again, following his under-par display against Nottingham Forest, just months after dropping him for the Manchester derby in December over his attitude. The Argentine started the 1-0 defeat at the City ground but was wasteful in front of goal and failed to make an impact. Garnacho blazed over the bar a number of times and frustrated fans, but still played the full 90 minutes as United struggled to find the cutting edge against Nuno Espirito Santo's men. He has started to build up trust with Amorim after starting United's last 4 games, picking up 2 assists and 1 goal in his last 4 games before Forest. But his manager accused him of doing too much on Tuesday. "He's making everything, he's trying sometimes," Amorim said post-match. "You have one day where you are doing the right things, but in the final third, you are not that good. That can happen. That can happen in the game. The most important thing for me is when he needs to run back, he's running back. Of course, we want a player that has 1-against-1. Sometimes he's trying too much. He has Patrick Dorgu to make a movement, but I think he wants to help the team in doing his best. Sometimes he doesn't always make the best choice, but you can point to any player today." Garnacho was also left red-faced during the game as he was sent tumbling to the ground while attempting to stop former United star Anthony Elanga, who ran the length of the pitch to score a superb solo goal. Many fans questioned why he didn't foul him. The 20-year-old has found himself in the headlines for the wrong reasons this season, after he left Amorim unimpressed with his attitude during United's win over Victoria Plzen in December. Reports have claimed the Portuguese coach was fuming after the player turned his back on him and walked away while he was trying to give him instructions before coming on as a substitute. He was left out of United's 2-1 win over Manchester City as a result over his show of dissent, according to the Daily Mail. Amorim at the time claimed that Garnacho was benched for the City game due to a simple selection decision, with Rashford also dropped from the squad. "We try to evaluate everything: training performance, game performances, engagement with teammates, push their teammates up. Everything is on the line when we analyse and try to choose the players. It is my selection." Simple, Amorim told Sky Sports before the match against Man City. "I don't want to send a message, it is simply an evaluation and they know it. The players are really smart. Everybody understands my decision and I have to choose. It is simple selection." Of course, the context is difficult because we have to win games and we have a difficult situation now. I pay attention to everything: the way you eat, the way you put your clothes to go to a game. Everything. I make my evaluation and then I decide. Chelsea's win over Tottenham concluded the Premier League's midweek set of fixtures and lifts them back into the top 4 ahead of Manchester City. Nearly all of the European chasing outfits won in recent days, with Aston Villa, Newcastle and Nottingham Forest securing 3 points. The fallout from Liverpool's Merseyside derby win continues after VAR found itself under the microscope following the decision not to send off James Tarkowski, which the PGMOL have confessed was the wrong call. Manchester United, who lost in Nottingham in midweek, have the small matter of a Manchester derby to prepare for this weekend. They will welcome Pep Guardiola's side, having gained the bragging rights when they met earlier this season. Arsenal will also look to put the pressure on Liverpool this weekend when they play 24 hours before the Reds, who face a difficult trip to Fulham. Here's the latest talking points from around the game. Arsenal are eyeing a new striker this summer, but there are seemingly no plans to rekindle their interest in Ollie Watkins after their failed January swoop for the Aston Villa star. Watkins emerged as a surprise target for the Gunners in the January transfer window. They saw a £40 million offer rejected, with Villa reluctant to sell both him and John Duran, who ended up moving to the Saudi Pro League in a big money deal. Arsenal remains in need of attacking reinforcements, which led to inevitable speculation that they would make a fresh attempt to lure Watkins, who himself is a boyhood Gunners fan, to the Emirates. But that may not be the case. According to Sky Sports, Arsenal have their sights set on a number of younger targets, and their interest in Watkins now cooled, despite his stellar record against the North Londoners. Diogo Dalot admits Ruben Amorim's brutal honesty has been well received by the United dressing room as they continue to struggle with some funnier moments, still finding the way into the club's inner sanctum. Results have not improved since Erik Ten Hag was axed with the Portuguese boss coming in as his replacement. But he has certainly made an impression on his players, and his attempts to speak English from day one were well received, according to Dalot, even if his compatriot did slip back into his mother tongue. The defender told TalkSport, "It was funny because sometimes he was so used to it in the beginning, to speak Portuguese, that he would start speaking Portuguese to all the players. And the players were like, 'Boss, come on, you're speaking Portuguese.' And he was like, 'Oh, sorry.'" Ange Postecoglou almost swore live on TV after making a bizarre excuse for his very public spat with the Tottenham fans. Postecoglou cupped his ear at the travelling fans who had mocked him by shouting, "You don't know what you're doing," when he brought on Pepe Sarr for Lucas Bergvall. Tottenham substitute Sarr thought he had equalised only for it to be ruled out by VAR for a foul in the build-up, and Postecoglou's reaction backfired horribly. Spurs boss Postecoglou stopped himself as he said, "We just scored for cracking goal, and I turned to them to see them smile." Postecoglou later added, "Jesus, mate, it's incredible how things get interpreted. We'd just scored, I just wanted to hear them cheer. Because we'd been through a tough time, and I thought it was a cracking goal. I wanted them to get really excited." Manchester United winger Antony has enjoyed a renaissance at Real Betis, but the Spanish side could face difficulty signing him permanently in the summer. The 25-year-old was loaned to Betis in the January transfer window after only scoring once in 14 games this season. He has made 17 goal contributions in 96 appearances for United, following his £85 million transfer from Ajax in 2022. However, Antony has thrived at Betis under coach Manuel Pellegrini, and according to Spanish outlet Relevo, the club's board are aware that his permanent signing will not be straightforward. It wasn't easy to bring him here, and it won't be easy to try and keep him, although it was probably harder to bring him, a club source said. One potential difficulty is the suggestion that United would want a transfer fee at least equal to the amount they spent on Antony, which would represent a significant outlay for Betis. Their chances of pulling off the deal may depend on what budget is available at the end of the season. La Liga could be set to bag an extra Champions League spot next year, and Betis are eyeing this golden opportunity as they sit level with fifth-placed Villarreal in the table. A Champions League berth could mean a cash injection of at least £42 million, €50 million, for Betis, potentially paving the way to swoop for Antony. The second part of their reported plan has involved Betis playing their cards right by keeping United in the loop with detailed updates on Antony's progress and building a positive relationship with the club, which might help smooth out future transfer talks. However, Betis Vice President Jose Miguel Lopez is keeping his feet on the ground. "When we get to that river, we'll cross it," he told Radio Marca. "Another club might come along with a project we can't compete with and take him away. We must have ambition and excitement about having these players, but we can't go crazy either. That game hasn't started yet. There's nothing on the table, and we still have a season finale ahead. Antony is settling in well at Betis, netting 4 goals and assists in 12 appearances. He's even gelled with Betis star Isco, who's keen for the club to splash the cash to make Antony's move permanent. We need to do a crowdfunding campaign to keep him for at least another year," Isco told DAZN. "We've noticed a change since he arrived. He contributes so much." Antony had nothing but praise for Isco after their derby victory over Sevilla on Sunday. "He's a star. I'm very happy playing alongside him," Antony said to Relevo. "As you say, when you understand Isco's play, things become easier. Since leaving United on loan, Antony's transfer value has certainly increased. However, Betis will be hoping that his connection with Isco and Pellegrini can form the third part of their plan to keep the winger for next season. I'm happy for him. He came from a difficult time in England. He's young and still has much to give," Pellegrini said. "Betis has a style that suits him. Being around technical players has benefited his game. The team operates around a footballing idea." Betis head to Barcelona on Saturday as their quest for a Champions League spot continues. The club are also in the Europa Conference League quarter-finals and will play the first leg of their tie against Jagiellonia Białystok next Thursday.